Okay, here's basic bluegrass rhythm techniques as applied to using our rhythm patterns, which you learnt earlier in the right hand rhythm techniques videos from Appalachian Kevin. So just type a search for Appalachian Kevin with no spaces in between Appalachian and Kevin, and you'll find the rest of them. Our first rhythm is just downs, 1, 2, 3, 4, then down, down, up, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and tap. Tap, so just tap your foot on them, 1, 2 and 3, tap, tap, 1, 2 and 3, then constant down up, tap, tap, then down up, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. So you should have them rhythms going fairly well on all the strings and on the single strings, just muted there. And now we'll apply them to the actual like bluegrass rhythm, playing rhythm in a bluegrass band at a basic level. So I'll sort of show you how they apply to that. The most basic rhythm you can do in for a bluegrass situation, or basic country rhythm, is just bass note strum. Boom, chick, boom, chick. Going down that road feeling bad. And really what's happening there is you've just got like a drummer will be doing the bass drum and the snare, and that's what's happening. Or the bass is on the the beats 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the snare drums on the beats 2 and 4. So that'll be our most basic rhythm. You'll see in the first bar there, I've just got it's a G chord. I've just got boom chick. I've got an open B note, like I'm holding a G chord a bit like that. And that B string's ringing there. It's not held down, and it's not such a great sound for a G chord. So what we tend to do in bluegrass is we'll hold down the D chord too. I think Clarence White was probably one of the first to really like the sound of that. And what it does is it gives a really nice full chord there. So I got that really nice booming chord. So that's the second bar there. It's the same thing, just with the G and the D held down there together. Going down that road feeling bad. You see, the more I whack that, the more sound comes out of it, so that's why we do that. Okay, the third bar there, boom chicka, boom chicka. So all that's going on here is a bass note, and then a down up. And on the up strums there, I just sort of catch the first string and maybe a little bit of the second. So it's just a sort of there's not, the accent is on the bass there where I'm tapping my foot. Boom, chicka, boom. 1, 2 and 3, 4, and 1, 2 and 3. You tap your foot on where the bass is, but the backbeat there, sometimes you want that to stand out too. So sometimes I'd work heavy on the bass. If there's a mandolin in there chopping away, or a banjo chopping on the backbeat, I might work more on the bass. But if there's no mandolin in there chopping or something, I'll make sure the backbeat stands out, which by that I mean. So on them beats 2 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm making them, where the mandolin and the banjo often do the chops there, or the fiddle might do a little chop there too. But that's a crucial part of bluegrass music, to have that beat in there. So if you hear it's not, the rest of the band aren't doing that, then add it in yourself. Now, getting a bit more complicated with these rhythms, there's a bunk chicka. So it's going down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So I got the bass. Going down that road feeling bad. So you can hear there's a little bit more going on there, but trying to keep really nice rhythm going, with that. Getting back to our muted patterns there. we still want it to sound like a drum, so there's a nice rhythm there. You can hear there's a bass going on there, and there's also that backbeat chomp in there too, and lots of other action. Slow it down a bit. So you see there I get a nice rhythm that's flowing right along there. Okay, now you can mix all them patterns up, of course. So on the second line there we've got a down, down, boom chick, and then a boom chick go. Going down that road feeling bad. Boom. Okay, and notice it's nice and rhythmic, nice beat to it, nice swing to it too. Okay, so I could add a boom kachika pattern in there too, so I might do boom chick, this is the second bar there. Boom chick, boom kachika. Going down that road feeling bad. Boom chick, boom kachika. And of course I can do these in any way I think at the time, how the song's feeling. Different songs just make you think, okay, it should have this rhythm to it, and as you learn that'll come on. But what I'm saying to you here is learn these basic rhythms, and it'll help you just to do any sort of rhythm you can throw in at any time. And when I play these things nowadays, the rhythm changes constantly. I have a certain feel going, but I'll do, you know, slightly different things every time around. And if you listen to the, you know, really great players out there, they're varying it all the time. You know, the Brian Suttons and David Greers and all that sort of thing. If you get into Celtic music, listen to John Doyle, Norman Blake. You know, it's never ending the way they change rhythms. Doc Watson, all these guys. You know, they're just wonderful. Okay, so now the other thing we can do, this comes a bit from, I think the first one I heard doing this was, you know, back around Dan Crary, and Doc Watson was certainly one of them. They do little rolling patterns in between. You know, Tony Rice, you know, very complicated. Norman Blake, amazing patterns in the middle of it. So what it is you do a boom chick, and then on the D string or the 4th string, go down and then up on the 3rd string. And then a strum. Going down that road feeling bad. Alright, so you know, this can be unlimited, and of course, so that was a boom chick, boom kachika, and I did it on the bass. Boom kachika, sort of a 1, 2, 3 and 4, and 1, 2, 3 and 4, and 1, 2, 3 and 4. And notice there's a nice chop there. So I'm trying to get it nice and rhythmic. And the last bar on that second line there is sort of 1, 2 and 3 and 4, and so it's a nice flowing motion. 1, 1, yeah, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, and tap, 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 1, 2 and 3 and 4, and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, and 1. Going down that road feeling bad. Okay, so what we'll do now is on the 3rd line there we've got just some pretty straightforward bass runs going from a G to a C chord, and then a G down to a D, and then back up to a G. There's lots of these around. I'll just play it how I play it. Here we go. So they're just basic connecting runs. So I'm going from a G to a C. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. G. So very basic things, but you can get a lot of them, but just have a listen to the nice flow of it. Okay, so I might just play a mixture of all those things to the Lonesome Road Blues and give you an idea of just how, you know, you might back up a bluegrass tune. You know, basic 3-chord one. Going down that road feeling bad. I'm going down that road feeling bad. I'm going down that road feeling bad, Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. Okay, so that's the Lonesome Road Blues.